Hey gamers, what's happening? Patch 10.16 notes. I've got another video cooking up for what the DirectX 11 changes mean for League of Legends performance, but this is just going to be for the changes. This patch looks pretty big, but I think that most of the nerfs are fairly small, and most of the buffs are fairly small as well, so I don't think we have to be too mad about anything here. The new skin line's cool. The new character's coming out. He's not available yet. This is another neat thing that they've added. If you click on the store, you get this loading please wait thing, which of course probably isn't in the patch notes because good changes like that they never actually talk about. Nerfs, Ashe, no nerf to Caitlyn actually, which is really surprising because Caitlyn is probably the best AD carry in the game right now. But an Ashe nerf makes sense, Bard nerf makes sense, Karma nerf, sure, Karthus nerf for sure, Kha'Zix, yes, definitely, Nautilus has needed a nerf for a long time. This is a nerf directed at Nocturne mid, which I don't think is as big of a problem as some other mid laners, like Pyke, but, you know, he's fine. Set nerf, sure, Syndra, sure, Volibear definitely needed a nerf because this character you don't have to be any good at all, and he destroys. Buffs, big list here. Akali, Evelyn. Fiora definitely didn't need a buff, but gets a fairly substantial one. Hecarim, yeah, sure. Jax definitely didn't need a buff, but gets a fairly nice little boost to early game safety. Jhin probably didn't need a buff. Jinx probably didn't need a buff. Lucian probably didn't need a buff. Misfortune probably didn't need a buff. But looking at all these characters here, everybody except for Twitch and Vayne got a buff, right? Caitlyn already got her buff, so it makes sense that she's not here. If they're hoping to bring all AD carries up in power, I'm totally fine with that. And you do that by these like incremental buffs. Twitch is already doing really good. Caitlyn's already doing really good. Let's look at the stats real quick and see if there's anybody I'm forgetting. Ezreal's already doing really good too. He doesn't need any help, and Draven's actually doing quite well as well. Why is Twitch way down here in pick rate? I guess he's too hard for everybody. Oh, and Varus, but they've decided they don't like Varus anymore, which I'm really quite glad about. The rest of these are also very small. Nico, Rakan, Skarner. I'm hoping that they're giving Rakan some extra speed on his E. So he can like E-R combo again. Yasuo changes. My friend Wes was complaining that they weren't enough. And Veigar probably didn't need a buff. Ziggs is, you know, whatever. Okay. Yone. His name is Yone, not Yone. Which is kind of annoying. But, you know, it is what it is. Yone. Cool character. I still don't really know a lot about his abilities, but I'll probably try him out when he's officially released. As of right now, for today, the day of the patch, this is the 5th of August. We do not have the option to buy the character, so he's still off limits. Akali gets +5 on physical damage over Q, which makes her push faster and her poke more powerful, and then they flipped the E's damage from physical to magic, and magic damage just does more damage overall. If the numbers are the same, you'd rather do magic damage because people have less MR. If you care about spreadsheets and that sort of stuff, you can go watch Freak's patch notes. He puts more time into it than most other people. I highly recommend Freak's patch notes. He's a very smart guy. Ashe bonus attack speed on Q down by 5%, but starting at the same. You only take 1 point in Q and then you max W, or do you max Q on Ashe? It might be a Q max. No, it's a W max. Okay, so this doesn't really matter that much until you take your second point in Q at level 8. But yeah, 5% attack speed is nothing to really consider to be totally game breaking, but it's 15 and then 20% at max, which is pretty substantial, right? Like how much is Dagger League of Legends? 15%? 12%. Okay, so 10% we'll say is roughly like 280 gold, 200 and something gold. So you're losing like, I don't know, close to 500 gold in stats just off of your Q. Yeah, not super nice, but I think that Ashe, more people have started to realize that being able to initiate as an ADC is like a very good thing. Why not just play that? And you also have a panic button, so I think that this character, not enough people were playing her before, and then they just kind of realized, oh wait, this character's really good. Bard is losing 15 base health, that's fine. And the heals, which already to me seem like they didn't heal anything, are now healing even less, so that's fine. The roaming and everything on Bard, this character is just kind of a pain to balance. I would even gut this a little bit more too. I would make him even squishier, like 550 or something. That's fine though. Or even reduce the damage on his passive when he has the meeps, but I guess this is a good starting point. They've been gradually nerfing Bard over and over and over again, so I think that they'll probably have him at close to a good point here. Evelyn spiking some power into Evelyn's Q so she can bring her charm back to the jungle. 4 seconds to... Wow, that's actually a huge buff. Hitting a monster no longer refunds 50% of the cooldown, but it's 4 seconds flat instead of 8. I think that that's better almost always, right? Yeah. Okay, that seems really good for clear speed and, yeah, early fighting with somebody. Damn. Cool. Fiora, this one is one of the ones that I think is the most unnecessary. Like, Fiora is already a monster top lane. Like, a solo Q Stomper, the character takes quite a bit of practice to get proficient with, but once you understand how to use her properly, if your ult is up and they're a squishy, you just like either force them out of lane or kill them, and her split push is insane, so... Yeah, I don't really know why they needed to make her laning so much better, but, you know, congratulations. Whoever picked to main Fiora over Riven, great decision. They treat you right. Hecarim movement speed up by 25% for 4 seconds at maximum value. Okay, so he's 25% faster with his E. That's pretty good. Jax, this is another one. Why does Jax need 2 seconds off the cooldown of his E? Like, playing against a Jax, you have so few windows to actually fight this guy. So, it's kind of a really annoying change that they would do that. Like, Jax and Fiora are already 2 of the greatest top laners for solo queue. And this is like, not a super huge buff, but that's a pretty big buff. You're removing 2 seconds off of my window to kill this guy, so I don't really like that a lot. Jin's getting 0.3 bonus total attack damage, which is pretty cool. Now the same damage as normal critical strikes. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. We're loosening his passive crit damage restrictions from all the way back in 6.4 so that he can take down structures more effectively and keep up with peers with expanded abilities for damaging turrets. So he gets to smack turrets with crits. That's pretty cool. Jinx now has uncapped damage on all targets. That seems really good. Mana cost for Karma Q going up to 65. Cooldown up by 2 seconds. So they're willing to increase Karma's mana cost and her Q by 2-second cooldown, but they'll give Jax a 2-second reduction? Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Minus 5% ability power on Karthus Q, sure, the character's really, really strong. Kha'Zix, they're reducing the isolation damage by 10%. They probably, yeah, I think that they could do a little more than this too. They'll probably do something on like the adaptive Q, reduce the effectiveness of it or something. Because pre-60 is not really a problem, but after he evolves his Q, and he can just like solo dragons and run around, and he has no chance of ever dying after he's 6. It's pretty cool. This character is really strong, and obviously he jumped up the tier list to like SSS tier pretty quickly. Lucian's getting 10 damage on Q just as whatever, which is pretty cool. I actually really like poking with Q. They increase the range, right? So Lucian's a cool character, and I think that you can actually walk out of the way of most of his abilities, unlike a lot of characters in League of Legends. But yeah, the Q, if you line this up properly in lane, which actually takes skill, unlike stupid Misfortune, you get rewarded by an extra 10 damage, which probably won't do a lot, but hey, it's something. And plus 2 damage, then plus 3 damage, then plus 4 damage on all shots, so that's pretty cool. MF base AD up to 52. I still think that Misfortune is probably really strong. People just stopped playing her as much, I think, because Caitlyn and Ashe started getting picked a lot more. Misfortune shits on basically everybody except for Ashe and Caitlyn, right? So, did she really need 280? Probably not. But again, bringing up the baseline of 80 carries is totally fine with me, because then they can actually have potential to duel people, and 2 AD is never going to be the difference between you gank a Misfortune and she kills you, because oh no, it's a lone 80 carry and you're a mid laner. They die. Oh no, it's a lone 80 carry and you're the jungler. They die. Morgana Q down by 1 second, sure. Morgana is a really good solo Q support, giving her a 1 second reduction, whatever, doesn't really matter to me. Nautilus, I feel like they should reduce Nautilus's base stats, but the shield is fine too. Nico, 10 damage, flat on here, and then the bloom damage up by 5 at all ranks. Okay, so she gets like a little bit more damage in the combo here. Not really going to make her that much better of a champion IMO. Nocturne! His passive cooldown is up by 4 seconds. Actually, this is that's a pretty big nerf to the jungle sustain too. And his clear is a lot slower. Basic attacks against enemy champions and monsters reduces its cooldown by 3 seconds. Okay, so if you're in the jungle, it doesn't matter, I guess, is what they're trying to say. Because you're always going to be attacking. Whereas this, if you're laning and walking back and forth and waiting for your passive to come back up so that you can heal, yeah, okay. Well, letting him be at a similar power in the jungle. I get it. Rakan, bonus move speed from 50 to 75. This is totally fine. Rakan, man, they did my boy so dirty. Rakan got gutted. Like, old Rakan versus current Rakan, oh my god. What are you gonna do? Like, you can cancel Rakan's knockup. Who else can you do that with? Like, nobody. Like, Rakan is E'ing in on my 80 carry. I can use my Swain E to pull him out of his knockup. I can use Soraka Silence to prevent him from doing the knockup. Like, who Who has that problem in League? Nobody except for freaking Rakan. Well, no support. Everybody else can do their thing. Not freaking Rakan. Bonus move speed up by 25%. Sure, whatever. I don't really care. Set changes. They like Set too much to actually treat him as if he's too strong. I feel the same way. I haven't seen the Volibear changes, but I think that they probably like how people are playing Volibear all over the place and don't want to nerf him that much. Like, what other top laner can you play as a support? Like, who can you play as a support, a jungler, a top laner, a mid laner? I think that they even play him as a carry. Like, in LCS, they pick Set mid. Or not LCS, LCK. They pick Set mid. They pick Set support. They pick Set jungle. They pick Set top. I think that the character might be a little bit too strong. And yeah, mainly the tankier builds, like going Sunfire Cape. Yo, Sunfire Cape is, like, pretty busted. If you ever play against somebody that builds Sunfire Cape, and they've had it for a while, hover over the item and see how much damage to champions they've done. Like, if you're playing against a Shen who builds Sunfire Cape, see how much damage the Sunfire Cape did, okay? And when you see that it did 5,000 damage to champions, and then you click on the postgame stats, and Shen, who built nothing but Titanic Hydra and tank, did the same damage as you, and you're Gangplank, and you have like 10 million damage items, maybe the item's a little strong. Just saying. They're reducing the damage. I feel like the E cooldown could have been messed with. Even the W cooldown could have been messed with, but base damage here down by 20 at max rank, but the early levels are the same. And same with Facebreaker. 40 damage. 40 damage flat off of the E is actually pretty substantial, so whatever. He probably needs more than this, but they'll whittle him down. Like I said, they like this character too much to they like him too much to treat him badly. Skarner, attack damage up, mana cost down, sure. Skarner, you know, there are Skarner players out there in the world, but he's kind of lame. So people don't really like lame characters, as you'll see when Yone comes out. Oh look, where did all of the Ivern players go? What happened to all the Gragas jungle players? Where did they go? Oh, they wanted to play characters that are cool? Oh, what a surprise. Syndra, Q. They already gutted this, so they're hitting it even harder. We're continue to sharpen Syndra's power as she remains a dominant pick in pro play. It's because she has a really good kit, dude. Tristana, if she crits on targets that have the explosive charge, she gets a bonus 33.3% increased damage. Damn! You already get one shot by this bitch and she's gonna do 33% bonus damage? That's crazy. Okay, these Vigar changes don't really matter. Thundering Smash. You know what I thought that they would reduce on Volibear? I hope that they still do this. I think that when he ults, he gets way too many stats. I think that they should probably reduce the amount of HP that he gets when he ults by quite a bit, so. You know, we'll see that in the future, probably. Bonus movement speed reduced by 5, and then almost 10 here. That's 9. 9 at max rank, sure, whatever. Yasuo gets 2 bonus MR, which is fine, makes him better in mid. And then his ult, they could have buffed it here, too. They only do 50 and then 100. You know, it's something. Ziggs, he doesn't really get a lot here, right? Bonus damage on the passive to 50% ability power. Bonus damage multiplier to structures 2.5. Okay, so he has higher pushing power. both ways. That's fine. You play Ziggs like most other like little runaway mages, so you'd rather be a lot of people than Ziggs though, so they're gonna have to buff him quite a bit for him to really make his way back. Nimbus Cloak, yeah, this shit was OP. I won't say that it wasn't, because Nimbus Cloak is pretty fucking strong. It was mostly annoying on junglers, in my opinion. I think AD carries kind of needed it. Yeah, for both jungle and AD as a consistent offensive and defensive tool. Mostly as a defensive tool. The bonus move speed to get out of there if you're an AD carry was super good. Whatever though. This is fine. It was really good. Like, it was really good. So, I think that they made the right decision there. Nexus Blitz, don't really care. I mentioned this here, the DirectX 11 beta test. I'm going to do some performance comparisons. Stay tuned. Lead client, these are kind of cool. Load less frequently. Use sections of the client are now deferred until clicked. So, before, I guess, these tabs were already loaded into memory, right? So, it makes a lot more sense to just leave them until you click them. You know, you'd expect that was how it always worked, but no, it's Riot Games we're talking about here. Yeah, this happens sometimes, where tooltips for items in item sets would not always display whatever. Okay, some standard fixes. Cool, guys. Okay, stay tuned for my performance test. I'll keep you up to date. Peace.